Women initiate divorce over 60% of the time, and if they're college educated, it is over 80% of the time.
If you could choose between getting married or having spicy time every single day, which are you choosing?
Men can't conceptualize that women are single by choice because men are rarely single.
This whole idea of women being single by choice is coping instead of facing their reality.
Reason why men don't want to get married. Men don't want to get married because it's not lucrative for them.
Women no longer need men to provide for them.
The stats that say that women are initiating divorce 70% of the time.
A man today is better off investing in himself. Marriages in the West are a nightmare. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
You need to be so sure that you're unhappy or that your future would be unhappy together with this person, that therefore other obstacles with unknown people and maybe you'll forever be single is better because at least there's an opportunity for something different.
Can someone explain to me how a man can work all day to keep a woman home nice and comfortable and he'll come home to no punani, no home-cooked meal, and a dirty house? I mean, isn't the whole point of staying home to help make the person who's working all day's life easier?
I posted a video about guys not knowing what they want in their 30s, and let me tell you, the comments have me, like, shook. The amount of men saying that they don't want to get married because they don't want to have to take care of a woman is, like, absolutely mind-blowing to me. Like, love is dead. It's dead.
For anyone that has listened to men in the last decade, this should not be surprising. Because let's face it, ladies, men are no longer to expect anything from a woman in marriage. Because when they talk about expectations, especially on social media, they get put through the ringer. And that has leaked into the real world. Like, men have a lot to lose when it comes to relationships, especially marriage. They are expected to give without requiring or wanting or asking for anything in return. A lot of men that have experienced that feeling in a real life relationship that he's been through, he has decided to remain single rather than put himself through that again. And honestly, what he sees on social media just reinforces that. It's really only until he finds a good woman in real life, he finds that unicorn, that will ever be broken down. And that does happen occasionally. But for the rest of the guys, they would rather be single.
It's not marriage we're avoiding, it's divorce. Love is dead, and you ladies killed it. Love is dead because they no longer want to take care of me, bingo. Thought it was supposed to be a partnership. At this point, it ain't even about the money or taking care of them financially. Feels like a mental toll, sadly. I think most women believe that men are just out here looking for someone to take care of, but that's not the case at all, at least not for most men. Many men are looking for partnerships, not just someone to carry financially or emotionally. And honestly, I don't know why it's mind-blowing to her at all. The signs are everywhere. The number one cause of divorce is marriage itself. The act of walking away when things get tough instead of working through them. I mean, did you hear this woman? She said love is dead because a man isn't breaking his back for her. That's just funny and sad at the same time. It's almost like she's saying a man's worth is defined by how much he sacrifices for her. But what is she bringing to the table? The entitlement some people have these days is unbelievable. Instead of focusing on what they can contribute to a relationship, they just keep a running list of what they think they deserve. But here's the kicker. Love isn't dead. It's just that people like her have forgotten what it really means.
Why do so many men feel invisible in their own marriage?
It's that they don't feel like they matter. They don't feel like the effort that they put in is recognized. It's as if everything that they do isn't even noticed. And she might be demanding that he be more of a man, or that he make more decisions, or that he takes the lead. But when he does, he's just told that he does it wrong, and he's made to feel like he should be sitting in the back seat, not even the passenger seat or the driver's seat.
And that's why so many men, they don't want to get married. Again, you look at this contract, right? One person is completely getting incentivized to break that commitment, which in most cases will be the woman. So if they get married and she breaks that commitment, she's getting actually incentivized to break up. A man who is a very rational human being, not an emotionally driven human being, it's a rational human being and a very logical human being. He's like, why would I go with someone where I already know, well, if this person breaks that commitment, it actually serves them. That's not a good foundation to start with in the first place.
Exactly. Why would any man sign a contract that she's incentivized to break? It doesn't make sense. Marriage, as it stands for many men today, has become a gamble where the odds are stacked against them. It's like saying, here's a contract where I take all the risks and you get all the rewards, whether you uphold your end of the deal or not. That's not love or commitment. That's exploitation. And let's be real, some women know this. They go into marriage knowing they have a safety net if things don't work out, which makes it easier for them to walk away without truly trying. This isn't about being anti-marriage. It's about questioning why a man should sign up for a system where his hard work, resources, and emotional investment can be taken away in an instant, often without fair cause.
Okay, fellas, if you could choose between getting married or having spicy time every single day, like you push a button, a woman shows up to service you, could be a different woman every day, could be the same woman every day, doesn't fucking matter, but that's it, just spicy time. Which are you choosing? Marriage? Spicy time? And now that I'm asking the question, it seems fucking ridiculous, but this was a very hot topic of conversation at the dinner table with my friends last night. Which is it?
Spicy time. Tired of donating cars and houses. Is this a trick question? No man's choosing option A, ever. I don't even know how this is a real question. Having spicy time or giving up half my stuff. That's such a hard choice. Spicy time. It has been my experience that after marriage, spicy time becomes non-existent. As things stand, with the way dating and marriage are today, most men would choose having spicy time over getting married. And honestly, who can blame them? The risks and responsibilities tied to marriage far outweigh the benefits for men in today's society. It's not that men are afraid of commitment or don't value relationships, it's that the stakes are incredibly high, and the rewards often feel one-sided. Spicy time comes with far fewer strings attached. It's straightforward. No legal contracts, no unrealistic expectations, and no risk of ending up in a courtroom trying to defend your right to the life you've worked hard to build. It's not about being shallow. It's about protecting their peace and avoiding unnecessary drama. And let's be real, marriage used to represent something deeply meaningful. Today, it feels more like a business transaction, or worse, a potential trap. So spicy time it is for most men.
A lot of divorced women become real estate agents because they finally realize men don't appreciate it when you fix them. Only houses do.
Reason why men don't want to get married. Men don't want to get married because it's not lucrative for them. Why should he get married? So he get wiped out, financially devastated. A man lose a lot of money when he gets a divorce. Divorce is only lucrative for women because women come out on top. It's not worth it for the man. Men don't really want to get married because he's symbolized at the end. But he do it because he loves the woman and he want to please her. Let me explain something. When a man get married, that's the time when a man feel like committing suicide. Okay, that's a high risk for men committing suicide because it's like the end for them. Okay.
Women no longer need men to provide for them. And you can disagree with me in the comments, but what I mean by this is that if you're paying her bills and thinking that's enough to keep her, then you got it all twisted. Because I promise you, once you're long gone, those bills are still going to get paid regardless. So what matters to women nowadays is if you're able to support them emotionally and mentally. Don't get me wrong, being able to have some financial freedom because you have someone there supporting you and helping you pay those bills, that's always a plus. But once that's gone, then what? What else can you do for me? That's my question. And men are always like, okay, well, women need to be submissive. Women need to do this. Okay, look, I promise you, if you're leading properly, a woman will submit naturally. A woman, when she feels like she has to tap into that masculine side, she is not going to be submissive to you.
All the traits she mentioned are in the good guys that these women don't want. She mentioned that a man needs to be there for them emotionally and mentally, but these women are not choosing the men who have those qualities. Instead, they chase after men who lack emotional intelligence, are unavailable, or simply don't care enough to provide that level of support. And even when the good men do step up and offer their emotional and mental support, these women often aren't ready to receive such treatment. Many of them are stuck in cycles of chasing toxic relationships or have built up walls that make it hard for them to accept kindness and vulnerability. The truth is, these women often don't know what they actually need in a relationship. They get caught up in their emotions, societal expectations, or unrealistic standards and miss out on the solid dude. And by the way she lied, women will always need men financially because they don't like to pay for their own things as adults for some reason.
70% of divorces are initiated by a woman, by the wife. That means most likely 70% of the 50% that go through divorce were surprised, shocked to find out their wife's not happy. That goes to 90%. 90% if your wife has a college degree or higher. What? Right? Guys who are waiting and thinking things are going to get better or hoping things get better, they get blindsided by a woman who's going to be filing for the divorce. 90% if their wife has a college degree. That's huge statistics. And most of these catch the men off guard. Now, when does this happen? The largest day for divorces to be filed is the Monday after January 1st, the week after January 1st.
I just wanted you to know that if a guy said he doesn't want a relationship with you, he just doesn't like you enough. Because I promise you, if Megan Fox from Transformers asked him if he wanted to date, he would say yes. He just doesn't like you enough. I'm sorry.
And guess what? She's 100% correct. He doesn't want a relationship with you, hence why he's point blank telling you that. Why? Most likely because you aren't bringing anything to the table that he's even remotely interested in. Because while you think this is what men want, and thus this is all you need to offer, hence the Megan Fox reference, the reality is that this means very little to men when it comes to seeking a woman to marry or be in a relationship with. You see, what he really wants is a woman who will appreciate him, acknowledge him, respect him, and who won't fill his life with endless drama and demands. Things most of today's modern women not only don't offer, but flat out refuse to offer because, you know, they have this. Oh, and as to the aforementioned Megan Fox, yeah, men might be willing to date her, but be in a relationship with her? Well, I hate to break it to you kids, but no. She's nuttier than a fruitcake.
If a guy doesn't want to continue a relationship with a woman, it's likely because of two things. She either complicates his life or doesn't bring the qualities he values. Men don't ask for much in relationships. It takes the simplest things to make a man happy. It's not about extravagant gestures or constant praise. It's about being valued for who they are and feeling like their efforts are acknowledged. Men thrive in relationships where they're treated with kindness and where their contributions are respected, no matter how big or small. For most men, peace is a top priority. They want a relationship that feels like a safe haven, not a battlefield. If a woman constantly brings drama, conflict, or negativity, it wears a man down over time. Men are problem solvers by nature, and if being with someone feels like an endless cycle of issues with no resolution, it's only a matter of time before they walk away.
And so what we do as women, being victims in our relationship and blaming our husbands and blaming men, is that we take their behaviors of pulling away because of our emasculating behaviors. And we say, see, look at him. He doesn't pay me attention. He's checked out of the relationship. Or sometimes good men are reactive to our emasculating ways and our walls. And they fight back. And we say, see, look at him. He's angry. He's aggressive. And we put the blame on them. But as soon as we're willing as women to look at ourselves and to drop our walls, to outgrow our emasculating ways,
they'd much rather destroy what they have than to take accountability for their actions. Absolutely. That is why it is very wise to never get married to secure your peace and assets. Worked very hard to have my life. I'm never gonna allow anybody to make me unhappy. Ain't gonna happen. This is exactly what my ex-wife did to me and took everything I had.
This is a PSA for anyone who's single in Melbourne. Go to the Breath House on a Wednesday night. I walked in and I was like, oh my God. Men outnumbered women by far, and good-looking men.
Can we please normalize leaving a marriage, whether you are a male or a female, because you weren't happy in the marriage? Period. The end. No discussion. I often see men, I have yet to see women, complaining about their partner leaving the marriage because they said they weren't happy. And the argument is, you're not supposed to be happy. So in other words, marriage is a prison and you should just bear it because what? Like, why? If someone is in a situation that is making them unhappy, and maybe their partner is a perfectly fine individual, but you know what? Like, it's not the lid to their pot. Sometimes people just change and they can be two great people, but awful together, or maybe not even awful together, just not fulfilling together. Why should someone stay in a situation that is not fulfilling? For what? Like, what is the prize? What is the reward for staying in an unhappy marriage? Is it a participation trophy? Why should someone stay if they are unhappy in the marriage? This idea that marriage is this thing you should stay in because you just should. Why? One life. You have one life. What is the point of doing something if it doesn't make you happy? Yeah, you work on it, right? A lifetime commitment takes lifetime work, but if that other person just isn't making you happy, they're not your person, then get out. And it's totally okay. Normalize leaving unhappy marriages for the sake of finding happiness somewhere else.
I think many people misunderstand what marriage is truly about. Marriage isn't just about whether you're happy or not. Now, I'm not saying that you should be miserable in your marriage. That's not the point at all. What I'm saying is that marrying solely for happiness is a big mistake. And that's a mistake many women make. And that's why many of them end up filing for divorce. They think marriage is supposed to be an endless stream of joy and excitement, but when the reality hits and challenges arise, they believe it's not worth it anymore. In any long-term relationship, especially marriage, there will be ups and downs. No one can guarantee perpetual happiness. There will be hardships, disagreements, and tough moments. But what makes marriage work is the willingness to stick together, work through the hard times, and grow as individuals and as a couple. It's about learning to navigate life's complexities together, not expecting the marriage to be a constant source of joy. If happiness is the only thing driving a marriage, then when that happiness fades or when life gets hard, many people will start questioning if it's worth it or just walk away.